The story of Final Fantasy X opens with a flash forward to the end of Act 2. In the opening image, a group of silent people sit around a campfire in the ruins of a city. Hope and sorrow are subjects that permeate the entire story. Hope is absent in this opening image. This flash forward is a glimpse to the darkest hour, when victory seems unattainable. The main character, Tidus, addresses the audience as the narrator.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
Final Fantasy X uses a storyteller-narrator to create mystery and dramatic irony. Throughout the story, Tidus comments on events as the narrator with his personal insight and in hindsight. This is used to a great effect in creating dramatic irony when preparing the audience for a plot twist in the middle of the story, the midpoint reversal. The narration also builds up for another plot twist towards the end of the story, something the storyteller-narrator has only just learned before the flash-forward scene in the opening image, and hints at with "this may be our last chance." The moral argument of Final Fantasy X is: those with the courage to look beyond traditions can find hope when no one else thought it existed. Please note that this approach to the moral argument and its phrasing is my own. A different approach would lead to a different interpretation. The opening image and the storyteller-narrator hint at the theme of the story, the moral argument. The opening scene is from the end of Act 2, from the darkest hour, a point in story where all hope seems lost. This is only moments before the climax of the act, when the two heroes learn the theme of the story and are able to find hope when no one else thought it existed.
Please? Alrighty.
Me too!
Take it easy.
The story begins with the introduction of the main character Tidus, a star of the local sports team. Admiring fans surround him. Children want his autograph. Young women flirt with him and he flirts back. While the main character goes about his daily business, the story introduces mysteries to the audience. A ghostly figure of a child appears to address Tidus in a mysterious way. People refer to Tidus as the son of Jecht, another star player who disappeared 10 years ago. The seeds of the climax of the story are sown here. The ghostly figure of a child will ask Tidus to make the ultimate sacrifice. Jecht is the father that must be atoned with, and the literal dragon that must be slain.
Oh, if I score a goal, I'll, do this. That will mean it was for you, okay?
Tidus is the protagonist of the story, the first of two main characters. He is the hero, or he will grow up to be one. Tidus has followed his father in his career choice. He is a blitzball player, star of the Zanarkand Apes. He is impulsive, often acting before thinking, but also kind-hearted, willing to do the right thing. He is brave and athletic, qualities useful for an active hero. Tidus is an orphan. He lost both his parents when he was a child. He had an abusive father. Jecht put down his son for trying to mimic and learn his blitzball skills. Tidus hates the memory of his father with a passion. From this memory stems his wound, the deep dark belief that he is trying to mend. He is trying to reach his father's level, to earn praise from the man. He already has the title of a star player and is admired by fans, but because he is unable to prove himself to Jecht, the wound remains. The story of Final Fantasy X has two main characters from two different worlds. They both have their own status quos. The futuristic city of Zanarkand is the ordinary world of Tidus. His everyday life consists of his blitzball career being admired by fans and flirting with young women. This status quo is soon shattered and never returned to. The actual story takes place in Spira, a world entirely different to Zanarkand. Tidus will be transported to an unfamiliar place and circumstances, and the audience with him. Blitzball game is interrupted when a gigantic monster, Sin, rises from the sea and attacks the city. People flee in panic. Only one man stands calm. Auron is the mentor character to the hero Tidus. Smaller monsters, Sin spawn and fiends, shoot from Sin onto the streets of Zanarkand. Tidus tries to fend them off with his bare hands. Auron hands him a sword and encourages him to fight. Rather than guiding Tidus away from harm, Auron takes him towards Sin. As the city crumbles around them, Sin draws the two men into itself.
Take it.
A big part of the story of Final Fantasy X is the two young heroes, Tidus and Yuna, searching for their identity and growing. They both endure comparison to their fathers. Tidus compares himself to his father Checht. The society compares Yuna to her father Braska. Even though Tidus' identity is connected to his father in many ways, he has a strong ego, personal identity. He uses every opportunity to distance himself from his father. At the end of the story, when Tidus has grown and learned the theme of the story, he is able to transcend this ego, which will enable him to atone with his father. As the protagonist, the point of view character, and the storyteller narrator, Tidus is the window into the story for the audience. Once he lands into the strange new world that is Spira, he knows as little about it as the audience does. Tidus is brave and kind-hearted. He has the desire to be loved. He wants to succeed, to survive, to right wrongs. These are all qualities the audience can identify with and cheer for. Tidus will grow during this story. At the start of the story, he is self-centered and ignorant in many ways. In his innocence, he is a fool hero. As he is put to the test and gains wisdom, he grows to be a true hero, no longer innocent, no longer a fool. Tidus is an active hero, able to function even at the most critical moment. He takes initiative before thinking, which sometimes leads to trouble. The idea of hero is connected with self-sacrifice. Tidus starts off with the much-needed qualities of strength and bravery, but these alone do not make a true hero. After learning the lesson, the theme of the story, Tidus is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to become a true hero. Much of the story of Final Fantasy X deals with life and death, hope and sorrow. At the start of the story, death rules over life in the world of Spira. The heroes take on Sin, death incarnate, to overthrow death's rule over life and bring hope to the people. Tidus deals with death both literally and symbolically. In racing towards the story goal of defeating Sin, he will either succeed and live or die trying. In overthrowing death's rule over life, his love affair with the romantic interest Yuna will either flourish or wither. Like all people, Tidus is not without flaws. He acts without thinking, is bad at taking orders or following rules, and can be brash at times. Tidus is an unwilling hero. He knows nothing about Sin and Spira, and would rather stay in Zanarkand and spend his days playing blitzball and flirting with his fangirls. He is whisked into Spira against his will, and will start his adventure by trying to get back home.
Auron! What are you doing here?
I was waiting for you.
What are you talking about?
Auron is a mentor to the hero Tidus, a secondary father figure. Archetypally, Auron is complex. He has gone through the same hero's journey that Tidus will embark on, making him a mentor as an evolved hero. Auron's personal story was an Aristotelian tragedy. He attempted to defeat Sin with Checht and Braska, the fathers of the two main characters, but failed to learn the theme of the story in time, and so failed to overthrow death's rule over life. One of the supernatural elements of Final Fantasy X is that dead people can cling to life and walk among the living as unsent without being recognized. Auron died at the end of his journey. He did not pass on to the other side, but became an unsent so that he could guide the next generation and prevent them from repeating the mistakes of their fathers. Auron's hidden motivations lie in correcting his own past mistakes and getting retribution for himself and his companions. Auron possesses esoteric knowledge about the mysteries of sin and Spira. He knows that the two main characters, Tidus and Yuna, need to uncover these secrets themselves to learn the theme of the story, and so he keeps much of the knowledge to himself.
Take it. I hope you know how to use it.
Tidus tries to take on fiends without a weapon. Auron hands him a sword. The hero earns the mentor's gift by being brave and active. Auron takes Tidus to Sin so that the young man can be transported to Spira. Like the audience, Tidus knows nothing about Spira, Sin, or the adventure that awaits him. The mentor gives the hero a push over the first threshold to get the story started.
We called it sin.
Sin?
Sin is first introduced when it attacks Zanarkand. The first visual impression is vague because the giant monster is inside a sphere of water. There is nothing vague about Sin's nature. It attacks without a warning and seemingly without motive. The senseless destruction sends a clear message. Sin is death incarnate. The story goal of Final Fantasy X is tied to Sin. Death's rule over life must be overthrown. Sin is the literal dragon that the hero must slay by the end of the story. At the beginning, this task seems impossible due to the colossal size and destructive power of the monster. The theme of life versus death permeates the story of Final Fantasy X on many levels. Here is introduced Sin, death incarnate. On Spira, Tidus will find how death rules over life in other ways. He learns thematic arguments connected to them and starts asking questions. Zanarkand, the futuristic city where people play all day, is the ordinary world of Tidus. Often in cyclical stories, the hero returns to the ordinary world at the end of his or her journey. Tidus cannot return to this Zanarkand, but he and the audience learn that only at the end of the story. The opening sequence introduces many mysteries. Foreshadowing is Auron being an ascent, originally from Spira but come to Zanarkand to bring Tidus to battle Sin. Foreshadowed is the dream of the Fayth by the ghostly child that addresses Tidus. This Zanarkand and all its people are a dream with the same origin as Sin. Tidus becomes something more than a dream when he comes into contact with Sin, enabling him to both sacrifice his life and overcome death. The story goal is to stop Sin. The attack on Zanarkand raises the dramatic question, will the hero slay the dragon? Tidus is a wounded hero. His father bullied him when he was a child. Tidus has always wanted to rise to Jecht's level. Now he has to follow in his father's footsteps on a pilgrimage to defeat Sin. Death rules over life on Spira. Lives are at stake. Sin must be defeated so that the cycle of death can be stopped. Themes of the story revolve around life and death, faith and technology, hope and sorrow. On Spira, death rules over life in more ways than one. Faith governs society. Use of machines is forbidden. Defeating Sin brings people hope, but Sin always comes back. The cycle of death is seemingly endless. By the end of the story, the heroes must learn the lesson, the theme of the story, the moral argument, and find hope where no one else thought it existed. After being drawn into Sin, Tidus is inside the belly of the whale, in the Inmost Chamber. He floats above the ruins of a blitzball stadium. Debris makes up a flaming logo of the team he and his father played for. This is the den of the dragon. This is where Jecht's dreams and hopes have died. This is where Tidus starts his journey on Spira and where he will end it. Without him or the audience knowing, this chamber acts as a womb, giving birth to him literally and metaphorically. Living in Dream Zanarkand, Tidus was a dream of the Fayth. Now, coming into contact with Sin, he becomes something more than a dream. Now he gets to experience the real world. When Sin drops him on Spira, Tidus is as innocent and unknowing as a newborn baby. At the end of the story, Tidus will return to this same chamber to face his father, to slay the dragon. By that time, Tidus will have shed all innocence. He will be ready to atone with Jecht and become a true hero through self-sacrifice. This chamber is a special world inside a special world, the inmost chamber of sin, where no living being has stepped before. Tidus' Jungian shadow is his own father, Jecht. He both admires and despises his father. Jecht is the origin of his wound and a great source of motivation. As Tidus floats toward his father, the man turns into a child, Tidus himself as a child, back when he was a subject of his father's abuse. When Tidus finds his way back into this chamber at the end of the story, he can finally face the real Jecht, face the shadow, and atone with his father. This chamber is the setting for the biggest series of catharsis that this story offers to the audience. It's a stage for several powerful archetypal events. Facing the shadow, atonement with the father, resurrection, sacrifice, death and rebirth, return with the elixir. This is where the story goal will be achieved. This is where the dramatic questions will be answered.
Well then, let's go. This is it. This is your story.
Sin attacking Zanarkand and taking Tidus to Spira is the inciting incident of this story. It sets up the historic goal and sends Tidus on his journey. The status quo is disrupted. Lost on Spira, Tidus cannot return to his old life.
Anybody there? Auron!
Tidus finds himself alone in the ruins of a temple. A group of people speaking in a language he does not understand take him to their ship. They force him to work for them at an underwater excavation site. Tidus helps the people excavate whatever is lying on the sea floor. He and the audience don't know this yet, but the recovered thing is an ancient airship, a powerful weapon that will have a part in the climax of the story. One of the strange people, Riku, talks to Tidus. She and her group are Bhed. According to her, Zanarkand was destroyed 1,000 years ago. Riku urges Tidus to go to a blitzball tournament in Luca. Someone there might recognize him. As Tidus tries to make sense of the situation he's in, Sin appears to sweep him off the ship and carry him away again.
Don't tell anyone you're from Zanarkand, Kay. Yevon says it's a holy place. You might upset someone.
Here the symbol of Zanarkand is first defined. For Tidus this city was home. Now it's supposedly in ruins and a holy place. Faith and technology are at odds in the world of Spira. Tidus and the audience don't know this yet. The Bhed use technology machina. For this reason they are outcasts. Tidus was surrounded by machines in Zanarkand and sees nothing strange in the way the Bhed use machina. Soon he will find out that the rest of the people in Spira have a very different relationship with technology.
Yeah, there is no Zanarkand anymore. Sin destroyed it 1,000 years ago. So no one plays blitzball there.
Huh?
Sin attacking Zanarkand heralds the coming adventure. it hints at the action line of the story. The mentor, Auron, pushes the hero, Tidus, over the first threshold of adventure. Riku telling that Zanarkand was destroyed 1,000 years ago is another sign. Tidus is not just going to walk back home and forget about Sin.
Yevon? Sin? Luca? I thought Sin just took me to a faraway place, that I could go back in a day or two. But 1,000 years into the future? No way! Whoa!
Tidus is in denial. He thinks Sin may have transported him 1,000 years through time, but refuses to believe it. He just wants to go back home and return to his blitzball career.
You know, you should go to Luca. Someone might know who you are, or you might find someone you recognize.
Luca?
Tidus has crossed from his ordinary world of Zanarkand over into the special world of Spira. The crossing was not voluntary. Auron brought him to Sin. Sin brought him to Spira. Now he's looking to go back. The story goal of Final Fantasy X is to stop Sin, to overcome death's rule over life. This is a goal Tidus cannot accept just yet. He does not know it yet, but he cannot return home to Zanarkand. He must dive deeper into the special world. There are more thresholds to cross. Tidus has a rough landing into the special world. He wakes up alone in the middle of a ruined temple. Fiends attack him. The Bhed kidnap him and force him to work for them. Riku claims that Zanarkand has been ruined for 1,000 years. Then Sin sweeps him off the ship and carries him away again. Tidus wakes up to find something familiar. A blitzball team practicing on the beach. The head of the team, Wakka, is impressed by Tidus' skills and takes him under his wing. Tidus asks Wakka of Sin and Zanarkand. Wakka says the same thing as Riku. Sin appeared 1,000 years ago and destroyed the Machina cities. Wakka asks Tidus to join his team for the upcoming blitzball tournament. The Besaid Aurochs have never won a single game. Wakka wants them to just do their best. This is not enough for Tidus. He wants to play to win. In the village, Tidus meets two crusaders who speak of an operation to defeat Sin. The temple of Yevon is the center of the village. Inside, an unseen voice sings a hymn. People kneel in front of stone statues to pray. The priest tells Tidus about high summoners, and aeons.
I don't care how we do, long as we play our best. If we give it our all, I can walk away happy.
No. If I say what's our goal, you say victory. When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play to win.
Victory? You're serious?
Tidus is a catalyst hero. He is an outsider who brings change to the stagnant world of Spira. He starts small by introducing winner mentality to Wakka and the Besaid Aurochs. As Tidus travels Spira, he learns thematic arguments. Being an outsider, he is able to question these arguments. After learning the theme of the story, Tidus will be able to put together thematic synthesis and change the world. Tidus is also a fool hero. He is thrown into strange new circumstances and is slow to adapt to them. Soon, the audience starts picking up hints that Tidus doesn't pay any attention to, except sometimes as the storyteller narrator. As Tidus joins Yuna's pilgrimage, travels on Spira, learns thematic arguments and questions them, he grows and becomes wiser. When it's time to learn the theme of the story, to uncover the moral argument, he will no longer be a fool.
You know, amateur. Who you play for?
The Zanarkand Abes.
What team you say again?
I meant, forget that. I got too, close to Sin, and my head's all foggy like. So, I don't know where this place is. Or even where I came from.
When Sin drops Tidus on Spira, he is an orphan both literally and figuratively. He lost both his parents when he was a child. Being lost on Spira, he has no place where he belongs. He's alone in a strange world and there is no way back home.
Oh, what's a high summoner? I got too close to Sin's, toxin. It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
On Spira, Tidus is completely innocent regarding the world and its circumstances. He has no idea about the rules that govern this new world. Spira, Sin, Yevon. Death rules over life. Use of machines is forbidden. As Tidus adjusts to his new circumstances, he starts to question the thematic arguments that people born on Spira would not think to question. Eventually, the innocence will wear off.
I'm Wakka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother. What, you hungry? Okay, back to the village. I'll get you something.
As Tidus takes his first steps on Spira, Wakka has the important function of being his guide. Wakka is a mentor, and once this role wears off, an ally. Wakka is a blitzball player, but also a guardian to the summoner Yuna. Tidus resembles Chapu, Wakka's brother, whom Sin killed. This resemblance, Tidus' recent encounter with Sin, and his blitzball skills made Wakka instantly like Tidus enough to take the young man under his wing. Losing his brother to Sin has made Wakka a strict follower of Yevon's teachings.
Who are they?
Lulu and Gata, Crusaders.
Huh? Crews of what?
What, you forgot that too? Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Wakka is another mentor to Tidus, a guide in the strange new circumstances of Spira. He takes Tidus into his protection, answers his questions, feeds him, and teaches him how to fend for himself against fiends. Wakka's role as a mentor slowly fades away as Tidus meets more people and learns about Spira. Even after there's nothing more to teach, Wakka will remain an ally.
Long time ago, there were a whole lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina, machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities. And Zanarkand along with him. Yeah, that was about 1,000 years ago. Just like you said. If you ask me, Sin's our punishment for letting things get out of hand. What gets me, though, is we gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when. Of course, we must always repent for our sins. That's important. It's just that it's hard to keep at it sometimes, you know?
Wakka delivers a thematic argument concerning faith and technology. In the past, people used machines, machina, to do the work. Sin is the punishment for it. Now people must repent for the sins of their forefathers. This is why Yevon forbids the use of machina. This is why people pray at the temple. Sin, death incarnate, governs the way people live. Death rules over life. People live in fear. They pray at the temple, trying to atone for their sins and the sins of their forefathers.
"10 years have passed since Lord Braska became High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Yevon is the only religious institute on Spira.
Sin's toxin got to you, but you're still alive. Praise be to Yevon.
Praise be to Yevon, people say as a prayer. The Temple of Yevon is the center of Besaid village. It's the only building made of stone, built to last. Statues of high summoners, people who battled sin, are objects of worship. Further inside is the Cloister of Trials, a holy chamber inside the holy building, a taboo. As Tidus first enters the temple, a hymn sung by an unseen singer echoes in the hall. The hymn of the Fayth is sung in a place of worship like a religious chant. The priest comes to tell Wakka that the summoner in the Cloister of Trials still hasn't come out. They have been there for a long time already. Learning that someone might be in danger, Tidus, the fool hero, rushes to help, disregarding the precepts.
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
The precepts must be obeyed!
Like I care!
He passes the trials and reaches the inmost part of the temple. A young woman stumbles out of the chamber of the Fayth. Yuna has become a summoner. Outside, Yuna demonstrates her new abilities by summoning the Aeon she just received. The villagers celebrate the birth of a new summoner. Tidus and Yuna talk for the first time. They will be traveling on the same boat from Besaid. Yuna hopes they can talk more so that Tidus can tell her about Zanarkand. Wakka warns Tidus not to get any ideas regarding Yuna.
She's cute, yeah? Don't get no ideas.
No promises there, big guy. Hey, but what if she, comes on to me?
That's not going to happen.
During the night, Tidus dreams of Riku and Yuna, and his father.
I thought Wakka told you not to get any ideas.
He did?
Hey, stop dreaming! You with a woman? You can't even catch a ball!
Jecht bullies him even in his dreams. He wakes from the nightmare yelling. Outside, Lulu, a guardian of Yuna, talks to Wakka.
Yeah, but he needed our help.
Excuses again?
Yeah, but...
That's it. No more. Enough, Wakka.
She scolds him for taking Tidus under his wing. Tidus looks like Wakka's brother Chapu, who died fighting sin.
I've done it. I have become a summoner.
Final Fantasy X has two main characters, two heroes. Yuna is the second main character of this story. At the start, her character is more distant to the audience than Tidus. The true size of her character is kept hidden for a plot twist in the middle of the story, the midpoint reversal. Yuna shares dramatic functions with Tidus, taking action, growth, sacrifice, and dealing with death. As Yuna is introduced, she is stepping onto the road of heroes. She has just become a summoner like her father Braska was before her, and is now following in his footsteps on a pilgrimage to visit every temple in Spira. On the surface, Yuna is shy and reserved. Under the surface, she is determined to carry out her goal of defeating sin through self-sacrifice.
I saw that Aeon thing. That's amazing.
Really? Do you think I can become High Summoner?
Yuna starts the story as a hero willing to sacrifice her life to defeat sin, to overthrow death's rule over life if only for a time, to bring hope for the people. Yuna is still to learn the true extent of death's rule over life, and the futility of her willingness to give her life for the good of others. She is brave and capable of much, but she still must grow. Like Tidus, Yuna lost both her parents when she was only a child. When she is introduced, Yuna is already leaving the orphan stage behind and moving on to the hero archetype of the wanderer.
So, tomorrow then.
Tomorrow?
We're going on the same boat, aren't we?
Oh, really?
We can talk more.
Huh.
You can tell me all about Zanarkand.
Tidus and Yuna talk for the first time. Yuna is looking forward to talking to Tidus more. She wants to hear about Zanarkand. That is something no one else has told him. Wakka tells Tidus not to see Yuna as a potential romantic conquest.
Hey, but what if she, comes on to me?
That's not going to happen.
What he is unable to say is that by becoming a summoner, Yuna is determined and destined to sacrifice her own life to defeat sin. Lives are at stake. Falling in love could waver Yuna's resolution.
What are you doing here? Didn't think we'd be able to handle it.
Lulu is another one of Yuna's guardians. She does not welcome Tidus on Besaid or into Yuna's circle. She is worried about Yuna's pilgrimage and thinks Tidus might interfere. The fool hero will have to win Lulu's respect to make an ally of her.
Man, was I surprised. And here I was thinking summoners were all old geezers.
The symbol of summoner is first introduced on Besaid. Statues of high summoners are worshipped in the temple. Villagers celebrate Yuna becoming a summoner. To the people, a summoner is the embodiment of hope. Summoners go on a pilgrimage with their guardians and fight sin. The symbol of pilgrimage is first introduced on Besaid. Summoners go on a pilgrimage. They travel Spira and pray in temples to receive aeons. The symbol of guardian is first introduced on Besaid. Guardians protect the summoner on a pilgrimage.
Thank you so much for your help earlier.
Huh? I'm sorry about that. Wasn't I not supposed to? Guess I kinda overreacted.
Oh no, I was overconfident.
The ordinary world of Yuna is Besaid Island. She spent most of her life there. Tidus and the audience only get a glimpse of this. When Yuna is introduced, she is about to leave her ordinary world behind and start her pilgrimage. The story goal of Final Fantasy X is to stop sin. This is the goal of Yuna's journey. At the end of her pilgrimage, she will battle sin. At this point of the story, Tidus and the audience know little of this. The two main characters do not share this goal yet. On Spira, death rules over life in more ways than one. Sin is seemingly eternal. It has come back every time after being defeated. Win or lose the battle with sin, the summoner's pilgrimage always ends in death. Yuna knows this, and still she is determined to go through with it, if only to give the people of Spira a brief period of time without sin. Yuna falling in love with Tidus will make the pilgrimage more difficult. He doesn't know how it's going to end. When Tidus talks about all the things they can do after they defeat sin, Yuna can only smile. Sin is death incarnate, the embodiment of sorrow. Summoners who journey are the embodiment of hope. Death rules over life on Spira. Sin can only be calmed for a short time, but it always comes back. Still, the summoners who go on a pilgrimage hope that one day sin will not come back after it's defeated. They hope that one day life will rule over death.
I remember, that night, we talked for the first time. I didn't know it then, but after that night, everything changed. For everyone. For me.
Yuna's storyline begins in medias res, in the middle of things. She has already gone through hard training and become a summoner. She's already a hero capable and willing to sacrifice her life for the good of others. She's ready to step onto the road of heroes and journey to its end, only to never come back and enjoy the fruit of her labors. Meeting Tidus, the handsome young man who claims to be from Zanarkand, is the disruption that changes everything. His father was on the pilgrimage with Yuna's father. Their meeting feels like destiny. He is also a man who knows nothing about Spira and sin and asks questions Yuna would not think to ask. Tidus and Yuna leaving Besaid together is what starts this story. It makes this story their story. This summoner's pilgrimage will be different from all the others.
Goodbye.
Wakka gives Tidus the sword he first gave to his dead brother. The group leaves Besaid village together. When they encounter fiends on the road, Wakka and Lulu instruct Tidus on how to fight them. They stop to pray for a safe trip. Kimahri, another one of Yuna's guardians, suddenly attacks Tidus. They exchange blows before Wakka separates them. Villagers see Yuna off. On the boat, Lulu warns Tidus not to interfere with Yuna's pilgrimage.
I don't know who you are or where you came from. If you interfere with Yuna's pilgrimage, we won't take it lightly.
People gossip about Yuna. Wakka tells that she is the daughter of Braska, a high summoner. Yuna talks to Tidus about Zanarkand. They find out that his father was a guardian to her father on Braska's pilgrimage. Yuna believes fate has brought them together. Suddenly, Sin appears beside the boat. The crew thinks it's headed for Kilika, another island village, and try to slow it down by shooting harpoons at it. Tidus, Yuna, and her guardians are unable to harm Sin. It shakes off the boat and proceeds to decimate Kilika village. Kimahri is Yuna's third guardian. He is a Ronso, a humanoid beast. After his horn was broken, he left his tribe. At the start of the story, Kimahri is very protective of Yuna and hostile towards Tidus.
That's enough!
Kimahri acts as a threshold guardian to Tidus. The hero doesn't know it himself, but he's taking his first steps into a grand adventure. He must be tested if he is to take part in the pilgrimage. Guardians must be able to protect the summoner. This requires physical prowess. After a few blows, Kimahri accepts Tidus and lets him continue with the group. Kimahri remains passive-aggressive towards Tidus for a long time. Once he trusts that Tidus wants what's best for Yuna, he becomes an important ally.
Word is that summoner's got noble blood. I heard she's Lord Braska's daughter. You don't say!
As Yuna becomes a summoner and her pilgrimage starts, she enters the hero archetype of the Wanderer. She is a literal wanderer. The pilgrimage is a journey that will take her across Spira. She is also a figurative wanderer. She falls in love with Tidus, but is determined to fight sin. Later, a second man asks her to marry him. Beneath the wanderer, Yuna is also in the hero archetype of the innocent. Even though she is a native of Spira, she is ignorant of many grim truths about the world. Death rules over life, but to a much greater extent than Yuna can believe. Use of technology is forbidden, but Yuna has never thought to think why. Tidus, the catalyst hero, will force Yuna to start asking thematic questions. Over time, the innocence fades away. Once Yuna has uncovered truths about Spira, Yevon, and sin, she is able to learn the theme of the story and move on to the hero archetype of the magician, making her capable of deeds that she could not have imagined at the start of the journey. Since her introduction under the surface, Yuna is also in the hero archetype of the Martyr. She is prepared to sacrifice her life to defeat sin. This is an open secret that no one wants to talk about. Tidus and the audience do not know about this. The dark truth is hinted at many times before its reveal. Being the fool, Tidus doesn't notice these hints. Being clever, the audience does notice them.
She's the daughter of High Summoner Braska. You saw his statue at the temple. Lord Braska defeated Sin 10 years ago. Yuna's the heir to a great legacy.
It's tough when your father's famous.
The pilgrimage is one of the two grand symbols of Final Fantasy X. It is a journey, a vessel for growth, and a window to the society. It connects other symbols. It connects the story's themes and subjects. The journey is a vessel for growth. The road challenges the heroes at every step. It forces them to face the thematic arguments and ask thematic questions. The pilgrimage connects other symbols, Sin, Yevon, Summoner, Fayth, and others. Together they form an organic web of symbols. Themes of the story permeate the pilgrimage: life and death, hope and sorrow, sacrifice, faith and technology, faith and aeons. The false moral argument of the story is about the tradition of the pilgrimage, the hope it brings to the people, and the cycle of death that it enables. The actual moral argument of the story is finding hope beyond the traditions connected to the pilgrimage.
Wakka. Wakka doesn't believe me at all.
But I believe you.
Huh?
I've heard in Zanarkand there is a great stadium, all lit up, even at night.
Huh?
Great blitzball tournaments are held there, and the stands are always full.
How do you know that?
A man named Jack told me. He was my father's guardian.
Checked. My father. His name is Jecht.
Amazing! You know, our meeting like this must be the blessing of Yevon.
Many coincidences, or events that seem like coincidences, bring Tidus and Yuna together and have them eventually chase after a common goal. Sin sends Tidus to Besaid just as Yuna becomes a summoner. They leave the island on the same boat. Jecht was Braska's guardian. Tidus and Yuna follow in the footsteps of their fathers. There is attraction between Tidus and Yuna from their first meeting. This romantic subplot is a vital part of the story, as it is tied to the themes and the moral argument of the story. Yuna's guardians are opposed to her having any romantic relationships. Wakka tells Tidus not to get any ideas concerning Yuna. Lulu tells him not to interfere with Yuna's pilgrimage. Sin appears as the herald of change. Its attack on Kilika is a sign of new power and a reminder of what's at stake. The two heroes are entering the special world that is the Summoner's Pilgrimage.